What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back as more Trove, and today we're going to be talking about karma, which is related to the martial arts profession that was added in the game. I had another video that talked about mana, and that was a bit of a lengthier video just because mana itself has a lot of extra steps to it to fully understand it, whereas the karma is very straightforward. Essentially, this profession, in order to even participate in it, you're probably going to have your gardening at 150 at the minimum so that you can use the composter to compost trophies that you get off of enemies very rarely, so that you can end up getting these souls of those specific enemies, which is going to end up being required for certain karma. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So if I look at the crafting table, you can see that karma is going to end up being used to craft these various buffs, which ultimately is going to end up being used to craft these various things at the crafting table to give us more points towards the profession. So you can see my skill points is at 54. If I craft one of these, I go to 55. But now I'm running out of negative karma. Positive karma is going to end up being the harder of the resources to farm, whereas negative karma is a lot easier. The patch notes kind of implies that you have to have a balance of karma, and just karma in general in video games usually is like a balance of good and evil, like in Fable back in the day. But rest assured, it is just a crafting recipe, or sorry, not crafting recipe, it's just a crafting resource. It doesn't have any complex mechanics behind it other than that. So if we end up going to the composter and I end up composting these trophies down into the souls, if we use the karmic shrine, you can see that the path of suffering will now suddenly allow me to craft negative karma out of the tangled souls, which these were trophies from enemies in Geode's surface. There's trophies for enemies from all sorts of different biomes. But by using the souls and beginner's incense, which is bought off of this NPC right here, I can end up crafting it into 15 negative karma each. So I can do 15 karma here, 15 negative karma there. All of these are just negative karma, but they give you varying amounts depending on the amount of souls and so on and so forth. Be careful not to consume your ashen and irradiant souls, because these are actually used for other crafting recipes. So just keep that in mind. Positive karma is going to end up being a bit more tedious to get, because you will be able to craft this once per week with a quality incense, which is also bought off of this NPC. But as you end up advancing through the profession, you'll be able to end up getting these various quests from this NPC, which are 10,000 flux each. So most players will probably not even bother with these. I know I'm not going to. Because the rewards themselves are not very worthwhile. I'll do this for today's video just to show you guys. This is active service removing weeds. So for 10K, I can buy it, and now I've got it in my inventory and I can consume it, which that is going to end up giving me the quest line in the top right that you can see, remove unsightly weeds. So if I remove 25 weeds from Cursed Vale, Fey Forest, Jurassic Jungle, and Forbidden Spires, I'll be rewarded with 25 positive karma. However, the thing is that these cursed bushes or whatever, these are always going to be available in those biomes. A lot of the stuff that ends up giving you positive karma is not tied to those daily quests. That's just going to give you an additional set of positive karma. Also, excuse this ugly thing right here. That's because I'm using a mod on PC. On console, when this update goes live for you guys, you won't be able to see that. But as I end up eating these plants by just running up to them and pressing E, because it's just such riveting gameplay, you'll see that I'm actually getting 1-for-1 ratio of positive karma off of them. So you don't even really need to go for those daily quests, just because save the flux and just go and grind the plants anyways, right? There is going to end up being other methods of getting positive karma, but I don't know most of them other than the bushes at the moment, just because of the fact that, you know, I'm not far enough in the profession to know what the other daily quests are going to be relating to. But I'm just saying that as they end up opening up, there is going to end up being other methods of getting positive karma. But if you just do this for like an hour, just wandering around and pressing E on all of these plants, it's fairly easy to just, you know, get lost in it. Just put some background music on or something, and you'll end up getting through it in no time. But like right there, I just made a little bit of a jump cut for you guys, but honestly, that was only like maybe another minute of me farming. And I kind of just lose myself with farming more and more and more and more and more, just because it's so ridiculously easy. Unfortunately, you only get a 1-for-1 ratio out of the gardening stuff, or the bushes, or whatever you want to call it, right? So positive karma becomes a very, very tedious resource to farm for that will end up getting easier and easier the higher you get in the profession, because these quests are going to end up introducing different methods of obtaining the positive karma. So this second one right here, if I grab this, this quest line is going to give me, where the heck is it? Trove Agency. It's not in the Trove Agency. Is it in quest line? Yeah, quest. So there's help Fabio Faye fear blah blah blah. There's going to end up being these random NPCs that you can come across in pretty much all of the biomes. I think it's all of the biomes, but they're just all over the place, just randomly, right? Here's some footage of the one that I ended up stumbling upon in Geode's Surface. And essentially, by interacting with this guy, he'll actually just give you a repeatable quest that, if you continually find more and more of these NPCs, as far as I know, they're not tied to daily amounts or whatever, you'll just be able to get a big boost of like 25 karma here, 20 karma there, so on and so forth. As you can see with the quest line, you know, mine nitro glitterin, he just wanted me to get 150 nitro and I'll get 25 positive karma out of that. And I also get some nitro glitterin. This one, as far as I know, is just implying to me that we're trying to find the NPC in the Fey biome. I think that's it. It should be a lot more clear. And as I ended up going into the Fey biome, I noticed there was an NPC right at spawn, which I guess wouldn't have normally been there if I didn't end up having the quest to help him. And all he wants to actually do is make me gather like more weeds and stuff. So what I'm assuming is going to happen right here is I'll complete his quest, which is going to end up rewarding me 10 karma. And then that also completed the other guy's quest, which gives me an additional 20. So it's kind of interesting that the quests can kind of stack on top of each other, which implies to me that further on in the profession, the karma is going to kind of steamroll and be like a quest and a quest and a quest to get a lot more of it. I don't know if it's going to end up being worth 10,000 flux like ever, but at the very least, it will definitely make an impact for those of you that are mastery farmers. But either way, as you end up getting all the positive karma and stuff, I'd recommend that you keep an eye out for the cheapest item to craft in the actual crafting table, because you don't want to end up crafting the item that costs more, because that essentially is just going to end up taking longer to max out the profession overall. And again, you know, the big issue is going to end up being, will you be able to get enough positive karma to outweigh the negative karma you can get? You know, I could get like thousands of negative karma right now if I just go and grab a bunch of trophies out of my club world, but the positive karma is going to end up being a little bit more difficult. I do appreciate the fact that there are just these random quest NPCs that you can stumble across and stuff. But whereas the mysticism and mana and stuff is something that you can very passively just grind as you're doing dungeons and stuff, these quests kind of require you to really go out of your way to try and grind for the karma specifically. But anyways, that's my 2 cents towards it. Again, I do actually think it's a really cool system, and I'm excited to see what the other quests are going to end up being further along. But until then, I just wanted to have this as a quick video letting you guys know how you can actually farm the karma. It is completely free to play, thankfully, but oddly enough, the karma is actually a lot harder to farm than the mana, despite the fact that the mana has pay to win behind it, even though it's actually way more efficient to just farm it free to play, whereas the martial arts is the harder resource to farm, but it doesn't have any pay to win option. It's very strange. But anyways, smash like, sub for more, buy the merch you want to support the channel. Have a wonderful day, everybody.